Pokemon has been in the news recently. We got a live action movie, 2 mainline games, and even a mobile game. And I want to talk about them, because I still haven't watched all the shows I need for my spring season video and I need to get content out, damn it. One of the big things associated with Pokemon this year has been the live action movie Detective Pikachu. Now, it's supposedly based off the Detective Pikachu game. Okay, it's actually based off the Detective Pikachu game. I have no idea why I put the word supposedly in front of there. I didn't play it or see anyone play it, so the story was all new to me when I went to go and watch it. I can confirm it's the best video game movie I've seen, and probably the best one we're going to see for a while, considering what's on offer. This movie isn't really the Shawshank Redemption or anything in terms of quality, but frankly, I didn't go in expecting much. I only really wanted to see a movie with Pokemon in it and maybe a neat setting, which it didn't disappoint on. Now, yeah, a bit hypocritical coming from me, considering I'm the kind of guy who believes that a piece of media should be good before it serves as wish fulfillment. But this is a movie where a Psyduck is able to knock out 3 Greninjas with a Psychic-type move. Consistency walks out the door a long time ago. The setting was definitely the best part of the movie, as Rhyme City looked bloody stunning, and gave me that good neo-noir aesthetic I crave. And yes, it does sound really weird to say that this shares a subgenre with Detroit Become Human.
Pushing. My problem is that I push people away and then hate them for leaving.
He's saying you can shove it.
What? I can shove it? Okay, that's it. No, we're switching roles. I'm bad cop.
28 stab wounds.
The acting is kinda mediocre for most of the people involved, with 3 big exceptions. The first exception being Ryan Reynolds, but that's only really because he just had to play a PG version of Deadpool, and he did. The second was Bill Nye, only really because all he had to do was be British, and he did. But the third outlier I want to talk about is Rita Ora, and not for good reasons. Basically, Rita Ora plays a scientist who's experimenting on Mewtwo, because of course Mewtwo had to be in this movie, and she says a line like, "What's happening?" or something in the beginning. And her delivery is flatter than Tiger Icicle without padding, and without the charm implied by that last metaphor. Now, it is just one line, so why am I complaining? Well, later in the movie, they have to replay her saying that one line over and over again, and you really start to notice it when it's played about 3 different times. Although I suppose none of us really came for the acting, but instead for the Pokemon, and I was pleasantly surprised by the fact they didn't just stick to Gen 1 Pokemon. Don't get me wrong, they take up the majority of the Pokemon on the screen, but we do see a decent amount of other gens. I'm impressed they actually got a shot with statues of Dialga, Palkia and Arceus together, which kinda cucks Giratina from the equation. Although there is a poster at some point which says there is a league battle where one of the trainers had an Articuno, so I guess legendaries are less of a big deal in this universe. I don't mind the designs of most Pokemon, although I could understand why someone wouldn't really be a fan of how they turned out. So a lot of effort went into Pikachu, which is good considering the amount of time he spends on screen and, well, in the fucking title. And the Pokemon seen in the background are very well executed, although some of the Pokemon in the foreground don't look as amazing. But it's still the best live-action video game movie I've seen, which isn't saying that much, unless the Uncharted movie starring Tom Holland turns out to be good. We can hope. Oh yeah, I also forgot to mention there's going to be a remake of the first Pokemon movie. I've never personally watched it, but it's called Pokemon Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution. And some trailers have actually been released with a song from Rita Ora, because she's now working quite heavily with the franchise, which is impressive to see. But we can kind of understand why she only started working with them once they did live action and CG movies. Because if she'd worked the anime movies... Fuck, my filter fell away. Because if she were doing it while they were still anime movies, then she would have to be called Rita. A mobile game is in the works called Pokemon Masters, and I see it's focused on 3-player real-time battles, which could be interesting, although I smell the reek of microtransactions a mile off. But I want to talk about this PV, which showed off some of the teams, such as Team Underrated Rivals, Team Dysfunctional Family, and Team Professor Birch cucked from the limelight again. And the dubbing for the PV is... interesting. For example here. You'd expect with the mouths to be open that they would actually be yelling something, but nothing. So since there isn't any noise, I decided to redub the trailer in what I call a perfectly uncut screams compilation. Next up, we have some stuff from Pokemon Sword and Shield. It's very... yeah. The whole National Dex kerfuffle has left a sour taste in many people's mouths. Not mine though, because I don't own a Switch. Inconveniences are always best when they're not happening to me. Dynamax looks to be this generation's answer to Mega Evolution, but without the pain of having to create any new designs. The legendaries look okay, although DeviantArt is likely going to have a field day with them. The slightly more open nature of the Galar region did look interesting, but was immediately ruined upon seeing it in motion. So there's a few issues that people are annoyed with, but obviously there's one big issue we're all united on when it comes to fixing the game. We need a Pokemon Battle Royale game. So I thought I'd dick around this idea equivalent of a shitpost because I needed a way to end this video. Basically, how I envision it happening is the game has picked out like 10 to 15 evolutionary lines of Pokemon. But each of these evolutionary lines must have 3 different evolutions. So, you know, like the starters, or the Beedrill line, although not Beedrill, Beedrill's a bit shit. So these evolutionary lines, there'll be about 10 to 15 of them. All of them will basically cover every type. And then, yeah, the trainers, they choose where they spawn on the map, and they are given a Pokemon at random. They can carry up to 3 Pokemon, which they will find throughout the map, along with potions, which will kind of act as the healing thing. So I guess potion, hyper potion, max potion, etc. So they can either, you know, just kind of wait to find a later stage of evolution, or they can level up their Pokemon by fighting other trainers, which you will engage like the way it's done in the games. They look at you, you go towards them. I think I've run out of storage space. Fuck. So a trainer would be allowed to carry 3 Pokemon maximum, but they are only allowed to battle with the Pokemon at the front of their party. So if that Pokemon is knocked out, they're out completely. I'm not sure what to call the lose state. Scurrying off to the Pokemon Center or some shit, I don't know. The ring would probably be some kind of Auras scenario where Groudon gets pissed and uses Desolate Land and shit. So that's kind of how it closes in. But the big problem is it can't technically be called Pokemon Battle Royale because, well, there's already been a sort of Battle Royale in Pokemon before, which is in Sun and Moon. It was the kind of 4-player battles, which were a bit laggy, I'll be completely honest. Although Sun and Moon came out 5 months before PUBG, and that had a Battle Royale mode, so can it be argued that Pokemon Sun and Moon was the first big game to start the Battle Royale craze? Winner, winner, Torchic dinner.